Hello everyone and welcome to my first 2024 No Buy Year monthly recap. If you're new here, hi, my name is Ella, I'm 39 and I am a full-time working mom of one. I am married and I live with my husband and my son in Houston, Texas. For 2024, we set up a few financial goals for our family, and the way I contribute to this is to set up a no buy / no spend year in which I try to eliminate as much as possible all the spending that is not necessary or all the spending that is not destined to replace things that we already owned. This recap is for the month of January. It is currently February 19th as I'm recording this. I do have a video in which I talk more in detail about our financial situation and our financial goals, and it's going to be linked in the description. But let's go over the main goals just to get grounded in this video and see how much we were able to accomplish. Essentially, the big goals for this year were to have a $10,000 emergency fund by the end of the year. We started the year with $4,000. So $6,000 need to go in the emergency fund this whole year. The second financial goal is to pay off an Amex personal loan, which is about $9,000 by November of this year. And the third main financial goal was to pay off our car by May of 2025. And yes, that is 2025, but 2024 is part of that goal, so I put it for 2024 as well. Additionally, a nice to have achievement would be to be able to go to Romania in the summer. Romania is where I'm originally from, and it would be nice for us to be able to see my family and for our son to actually meet my extended family. In money terms, that would be almost $5,000 for the tickets. We wouldn't need to pay for any accommodation, and the expense of being there would be minimal, like it would be just normal life, which would also happen if we were here. But anyway, that's a nice to have goal, and we'll talk about that more towards the end. So without further ado, let's see how we did in January. First and foremost, there was a major update in my income. I got a promotion, and that brought with it a very significant raise. It was something that I was working towards, not to say that the goals that we set up for our family weren't possible if I didn't get this raise, but it's something that definitely helps a lot in us being more confident in achieving our goals. So now let's see what I spent money on this month. And I'm not going to count, of course, rent and the utilities. I'm not going to count cell phone, internet, car insurance, renter's insurance, or any like fixed or variable but monthly bills that always exist. One of the most important types of expenses that I want to talk about for the month of January was groceries. Groceries is that type of expense that you have some control over. You don't have complete control over because, inflation and, it costs to eat what it costs to eat. But there are a lot of ways in which you can keep that expense down. For the month of January, I set up a budget of $500 for groceries between food and non-food items. Non-food items are the type of items that you buy at the grocery store, like toilet paper and paper towels and toiletries, soap, shampoo, stuff like that. Also, diapers are a big component of that in our family because our son is 18 months old, so he still uses diapers. And I'm happy to report that for the month of January, I managed to stay pretty much in the $500 budget. I ended up spending $501.79 for groceries for the month. I do have to say that we are a little bit privileged because we do have my mother-in-law who occasionally buys us stuff from Costco, like, the occasional pack of paper towels or toilet paper or a rotisserie chicken. We also do feed the whole family one day a week on Tuesday. So that can be anywhere from 4 or 5 up to 7, 8, 9 people one day a week. And also there's the aspect of the Sunday barbecue or lunch that is hosted at my father-in-law's place. So that also counts as some extra because sometimes we actually do come back with leftovers from that and we have like one additional meal of leftovers. Of course, everyone's situation is different. I do think that if you do even more savings if you do more shopping trips to the more affordable places. I only do that shopping trip once a month because that's what makes sense for us. But if you do that more often and you're more paying more attention to sales, items and stuff, it is feasible to feed a family of 3 and also secure, the basic household items in the grocery budget for $500 a month. First of all, I have 3 subscriptions that I'm not counting as bills because technically life would be able to exist without them, but they are the absolute bare minimum in terms of subscriptions that I think contribute to the quality of life in general. First of all, I have my Adobe Creative Cloud subscription that is $32. I use that for editing videos for Premiere, and Ivan also uses that for school. The second subscription was Amazon Prime, and that was $16.23. We use Amazon a lot in our family, be it for purchasing household items or stuff for our son, be it clothes or toys or just things that he needs. And also we use Amazon to rent movies. We try to not go to the cinema literally at all. Last year we went to the cinema once to see Barbie, and all the other movies that we saw, we just rent them out from Amazon. It's kind of like $4 a movie. So we feel that for the benefit it gives us, it's $16 a month, given that we use Amazon a lot, is reasonable. And the third and last subscription is YouTube Premium, for which I pay $5.86. Again, YouTube is something that always runs in the background when I cook, when I do household chores. So for me, being able to watch or listen to YouTube without ads is a huge benefit compared to the cost. I have to say that until 2023 and including 2023, I also had an Epidemic Sound subscription, which was, I think, like $15 at some point, but I canceled it because I can easily just get free music from YouTube, from the YouTube library for my videos, and I don't really need Epidemic Sound. It was a tough decision, and I had that subscription for years. I think I made it in 2018 when I started my channel, but it no longer made sense to have it. In terms of eating out, of course, the goal was to never do it, but it did end up happening once because my friend from Italy visited us for a weekend, and during that weekend we ate out twice. Once she paid and once we paid, and the one that we paid ended up being $80. During the same weekend with my friend, we did have an extra grocery run because I wanted her to try more American things, and I ended up spending $33 on that extra haul. Other than this, the entertainment chapter was kept under control. We only spent the $50 for our weekly dates. So that is good. I'm happy we didn't go over that side. Just as a reminder, I specified in my previous video with the 2024 goals that we are budgeted for once a week coffee date at our regular coffee shop here in Houston, and that totals up to $50 in a month. Another expense that I want to talk about is clothes for our son, and in the month of January we spent $108 in clothes for him. In this amount, what I was able to get for him was 2 pairs of jeans, 4 pairs of sweatpants, 2 sweaters, 2 sweatshirts, and a set of 4 cotton hats, beanie hats, because he did have a super thick knitted hat, but he needed some lighter hats for the mild Houston winter. I managed to get all these things on Amazon. I found them at super convenient prices, so I was really happy with those purchases. And he wears the clothes a lot, except one of the pairs of jeans is a size too big, so he's gonna get to it later in a few months. I know I could have simply returned the pair that was too big, but he is going to grow into it, and the price was just too good to pass. I think it was something like $15. For the house, we didn't have too many things to get on top of our usual household products that we get during groceries, but our hamper broke. So I had to buy a new hamper. I bought it off of Amazon and it ended up being $12.99. And the last expense that I'm going to talk about for the month of January was medical expenses, and that was a total of $400. And it was mostly medications for me and our son, and also a dermatologist visit for myself, and I think there was a pediatrician copay for our son. In terms of upcoming expenses, we were hit with an expense in January that is being paid in February, which is a huge car repair. That car repair amounts to $2,975. I can't tell you exactly what needed to be changed. It's a lot of things. Ivan manages this side of the household because this is way too boring for me. I hate any technicalities about cars. I really don't like driving even, but you gotta do what you gotta do. But anyway, so an expense of $2,975. This is gonna be paid now in the month of February. And this is why our goal completion is not going as quickly as it could have gone. So in terms of savings, the month of January closed with $5,000 in our emergency fund. So that's $1,000 put in that fund compared to the month of December. We had 4,000. Now, end of January, we have 5,000. I think this is still a good progress because we have almost a full year to go and only 5,000 to put in there. So I think it's going at a good pace. Also, considering that our bills were higher in January than normal. We paid more for electricity. We paid like 6 months of car insurance. So the fact that we still could put $1,000 in the emergency fund was a win. In terms of my personal savings, which I call my BS fund, I closed the month of January with $369. This was composed mostly of leftover Christmas money from my family and $26 of sewing patterns that I sold on Etsy. I sold 2 sewing patterns in January from my collection. Also, I do allocate an amount out of each paycheck to this BS fund as my personal savings for, replacing clothes, shoes, makeup, anything that runs out, and also just to have like my own few pennies saved up. This amount used to be $75 per paycheck up until December, but because in January I got my raise, I raised that amount to $125 per paycheck, and I'm going to keep it that way for a while. Let's see how things go also with the family savings goals and everything. Of course, throughout the years, according to our family needs and stuff, this amount was lower or higher. I don't think it's gonna be higher than $125 per paycheck because we have quite the savings goals this year, but it could go lower. We'll see. So $369 in my BS fund. Also, all the 3 subscriptions actually come from my BS fund. The Amazon, the Adobe Creative Cloud, and the YouTube Premium. Although we both use them as a family, I am doing the family a favor and I'm covering those from my BS fund. There are though some things that didn't quite change in the month of January, and one of those is the Amex loan. It's still at around $9,000. We just made the minimum monthly payment. We are going to start attacking that a little later in the year. You will see that a lot of the updates will probably be, just the balance decreasing a little bit as we do the minimum monthly payment. Also, the car loan is still at around $14,000 balance because on the car loan as well, we only did the minimum monthly payment. And last but not least, we saved absolutely zero for the Romania trip. And actually, during this month of January, given all the bills that were higher than usual, the car insurance and everything, and also the expense that we were hit with that we have to pay in February for the car maintenance or repair, we're actually questioning, is it still feasible to hope to go to Romania? As of now, February 19th, I actually just looked at the ticket prices and they are still the same. It's like 1,650 per person two-way. So it's 4,950. I mean, okay, they did increase maybe like 150 total since last time I checked. But it kind of looks like it's maybe not going to happen. We'll see how we end the month of February. For February, remember, we will have to pay the 2,950 or 75 car repair. So we'll see what we're left with after that. And that was it. This was our first monthly 2024 no buy year recap. I don't know if it's fair to call it no buy or low buy. We are doing our best, and of course the initial mindset is always don't buy anything, don't buy anything, don't buy anything. But life happens, and we embrace it and we make the best of it. Since the month of February is ending pretty soon, expect the February recap to come sooner than it took me to do the January recap after the month of January ended. And if you like this video, make sure to click the like button and leave me a comment to help with the YouTube algorithm. And speaking of comments, let me know also if you set up a financial goal for 2024 or for the month of January, and if yes, how did it go? How's it going? And let's just keep the conversation going. Until next time, bye-bye.